I am running for the presidency of the United States of America.
I'm running for president of the United States.
I'm running for president.
I'm a candidate for president of the United States.
I am a candidate for president of the United States of America.
I announce my candidacy for president of the United States.
Well, it seems that all eyes and ears have been on the 2016 presidential hopefuls so far, but of course, there is more at stake in this upcoming election cycle than just the top job. And those other races could have more effect on our everyday lives than the person who ends up at 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue. Joining us now, Matt Walter, president of the Republican State Leadership Committee. He Skypes in from North Carolina. Matt, it's so good to have you here on Newsmax Prime.
It's a pleasure to be with you. Thanks for having me.
Now, when we take stock of governorships and state legislative chambers, the Republican Party has gained control of several in the wake of President Obama ascending to the Oval Office. Was this a Republican romp or takeover in certain state legislatures a reaction to the president's policies?
Well, that's part of it for sure. People look at Washington, D.C. and the Obama-led administration, and they see a complete lack of results. And where there is action, a lot of people are feeling like it's the wrong actions, the wrong choices to move them forward. And that's contrasted with what they see in their state-level governments. And polling indicates that voters and constituents across the board, across the country, in red states, have a more favorable opinion of the direction that their government is heading. And so, since Obama has come to office, we have had over 900 net seats picked up by the Republicans. And
of course, you spent some time working for the New York State Republican Party, and there was a lady who served New York as a senator, as a Democrat as well. That would be Hillary Rodham Clinton. And of course, she had some background in state politics as the First Lady of Arkansas. I'm curious about the Clinton dynamic. What does that portend for Democrats at the local and state level?
Well, in running Hillary Clinton for president, you've got one of the most unpopular and untrustworthy public figures running for higher office here. She has a very polarized opinion, and it's not particularly favorable to many Americans. That said, it's a strong machine, and so you need to be respectful of that. And the way that that's going to play out at the state level is we need to run good candidates with a good message that's going to have a real impact on people's lives and differentiates between a far-off Washington, D.C. bureaucrat making a decision on your life versus somebody who's from your state, from your locality, and understands your issues. And that's fundamentally been behind what the Republican State Leadership Committee has been working very hard at.
And to learn more about Matt's organization, go to rslc.gop. Matt, thanks for being here on Newsmax Prime. Now, time to take a look at what's on your mind via social media. Our first comment comes from Gary, who was very impressed with congressional candidate and military veteran Brian Mast, a double amputee who appeared on this program earlier this week. Gary writes, "What a patriot. Once again, when we fall into self-pity and loathing, we need only look so far to see folks like Brian, who have suffered a setback which they only consider a minor obstacle. If these patriots don't deserve our respect, our nation has lost its soul. I think not. God bless." The next comment from G-Man, weighing in about John Sununu's interview last night. He writes, "John Sununu is so right on Elder Bush's underrated presidency. I wrote a letter to the editor during his run as I became very irritated that folks would call him names. America's youngest pilot shot down in World War II, ambassador to China, director of the CIA, and vice president before becoming president. A great resume." And finally, we hear from Darcy, who writes in about what she perceives as our greatest threat. "Lawmakers are silent about it. We will continue to throw money into the Middle East debacle without realizing that the biggest threat to this country lies south of our borders." To that I say, amen. Now remember, if you want to weigh in, it's easier now than ever. Send your comments to me via email, Facebook, and Twitter. There's also NewsmaxTV.com comments. That'll do it. See you tomorrow night. Stay brave, stay free, stay tuned.